going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Guns Locked. I'm Gunther the Great, and you guys see the title, Lil Wayne. This has been a long awaited dreadlock review that you guys have been asking for a lot, so we're gonna jump straight into it because you guys have been showing so much love, so let's just jump straight into it. Lil Wayne, if you guys did not know this man, he was very popular like back in 2009, 2010, labeled the best rapper alive. I'm not sure if anybody else took that position, but besides all of that, let's just look at his dreadlocks. I'm gonna look at one of the pictures of when his hair was actually really long. We're gonna look at this picture with him in an orange truck fit shirt. You can see that his hair is super long. His hair goes all the way down to almost his waist, and actually I think it does go down to his waist. Some of his dreadlocks do, and his hair has to be pushing 3 to 4 feet right here. That is just super long hair. That is super cool how his hair was that long, and then his hair just took like a crazy process and a major twist how his hair is now, because I remember when he actually just cut his hair, and we'll actually go to that picture too after this one. Here's another picture of his hair going down to his waist as well. You can see that his hair on the top of his head is actually really frizzy, very afro-like. This is when he stopped maintaining his hair, I'm pretty sure. You can see that his hair, even down by his waist, or the length of his hair, isn't as skinny as it was back when he was maintaining it and twisting it and doing the braids in it and everything, which his hair looked really cool when he had the braids in it and everything. That was back when he did like no ceilings, and that was really interesting, really cool. I used to be a huge fan of Lil Wayne, by the way, back when like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was popping. But that is way off subject and besides the point. Here's the next photo of when he cut his hair. You can see that the ends of his dreadlocks are really weird. After he cut his hair, it was just weird. It was like, what? Why'd you cut your hair? Lil Wayne was one of those rappers that it was like he had dreadlocks, then T-Pain had dreadlocks, and nobody else had dreadlocks. Busta Rhymes, but his hair was cut way before. Like Waka Flocka. It wasn't that many people with dreadlocks, and everybody who had dreadlocks, they were really long. Now you can just see the process is totally different. People nowadays, they'll cut their hair to keep their dreadlocks short, and just like Lil Uzi Vert, Young Thug, and then just like people were cutting their dreadlocks, they just keep them short, and it's really interesting to see how that changed, and people are coloring their dreadlocks now. Lil Wayne even colored his dreadlocks, and we'll get into that as well. But you see how cool it is how when you cut your dreads, how wispy they are at the end, as they'll like break out and kind of burst at the ends. Just wanted to show you guys the tips right there. We're just gonna move on to this next photo of his hair up, and I believe this is after that photo that I just showed you, and you can see that his hair is wispy too, and it kind of just gets a little block at the end, and it'll blunt off eventually. After you cut that, you can either blunt it off with crochet hook, or even just let it take its natural course and blunts off on its own from just sleeping on your hair, and it'll mat up on its own. One interesting thing that you can see about Lil Wayne's hair right here is that his hairline is receding. That's just from the weight of your dreadlocks. If your hair is heavy, your hair will eventually get pulled back. That's just with weight of your hair. If your hair is heavy, it'll just get pulled back. If you have your hair in a ponytail for a long time, it'll get pulled back as well. And that's just how pretty much life is if you do that. I think this hairstyle is really cool. I think he has it just twisted up. He just got like 2 chunks of his hair and twisted it and put it in a knot in the back, and I think that's a really cool hairstyle. Once my hair gets to a certain length, I just want to be able to tie my hair up with just my hair, without a headband. That'll be pretty interesting and pretty convenient at the same time. But we're gonna move on to the next photo, which is him with the bleached hair already, and he is on stage, and I thought this was an interesting photo. His hair is way shorter than it was, and it looks free-formed. You could see that he has a whole bunch of wicks, a whole bunch of Congos, and it is just crazy how his hair got this way so quick, just from the outside looking in. And his hair is bleached now, and it doesn't look like Lil Wayne anymore, how it used to be, how we were growing up on Lil Wayne and everything. His hair isn't black anymore, it's bleached, it's Congoed up, and the ends are super thick, and his hair isn't skinny like it was. He definitely won't be able to braid his hair anymore, and it's just a whole different look, a whole different vibe from Lil Wayne in this photo. And it's pretty interesting though. It was definitely a change, that's for sure. And I'm not sure if he did it to keep up with everyone else in the rap game, or just to fit in, or just to do a publicity stunt and dye his hair and cut it. Could be all of those things, could be none of those things at the same time though. So let's get a closer look at his hair being bleached and all matted together, and that is the matting process. I think that hair texture, like looking at his hair, that's what hair looks like when it's matted together and it's bleached. It looks almost dirty, but it's not. I mean, it could be dirty at the same time too, but matted hair looks really cool. The one thing I do like about freeform hair or matted hair or Congos is that the hair texture it is in, it makes it look really strong. So I think strong hair, it kind of gives you that kind of character vibe of being a strong person. It's not like that all the time, but I think a lot of people do have that backstory of the reason they have Congos or freeform hair or wicks is because you have to be strong. But I think it's interesting. Congos are really interesting, and I think they actually look really good. I'm not in any shape or form against freeform or wicks or Congos, so I think they overall look really cool. In this photo, you can see that some of his Congos actually have like up to 10 dreadlocks inside of them, and his Congos are just super thick. They're probably 1 inch to 2 inches in diameter on the wicks and how thick they are. I can only imagine how thick his roots are and how messy and frizzy and afro-like his roots are, because just looking at the lengths of his dreadlocks and seeing how thick it is compared to the tips, because his tips are all still separated, but the Congos are definitely there and they are thick. And I'm also not really sure if some of his dreadlocks fell out or if he cut them out, because you can tell that just throughout the time period of the growth and the progression and the maturity of his dreadlocks, some were either cut or they fell out because they just started decreasing and they just kept decreasing. But that is pretty much Lil Wayne's dreadlocks and his kind of journey from going from maintained super nice to the bleach Congo look, almost looking freeform. But yo guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys are not already, like I already said. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this series. It is a 7-day series, so you guys can always check out the rest of the videos. And also you can check out my other channel, it is Gunther the Great. The link is always in the description. Other than that guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.